Thanks for checking out this episode of the Rookie Big Board. If you enjoy it, make sure to give the video a like, subscribe. You can check out all of my content, including the 2023 Rookie Big Board at patreon.com/theFFeducator. This is another episode of the bonus board. Yes, the bonus board is back, fresh off of COVID, ready to be back on the mic. And I am joined this week by Dynasty Big Board co-host Ryan Cearfoss. Ryan, along with myself and 10 patrons, did a 12-team best ball draft. It's a real draft. It's a real best ball league we're doing. It's not a mock draft, but we're going to mock the mock. Me and Ryan are going to go through pretty in-depth. It's a 28-round mock draft. We're not going to talk about all the picks, but we're just going to kind of kick it around here. Folks that know the bonus board shows know it's a little bit more laid back of a format here. So we're just going to talk about the draft, some of our biggest takeaways, picks, all that good stuff. Ryan, my man, you ready to jump into it?
I am. I mean, with an intro like you had, it doesn't feel laid back. It feels very professional.
Well, you know, I do this every week, and I did the same thing to Eric when he came on, because I know you all are degenerates and don't listen to anything but your own voices. So the key here, and the reason that I know you're laughing, the reason that
it's true.
It's true. I know you only want to listen back to yourself. Well, what's fun about the bonus board shows is we always start off by doing a little mini board. All right. So I toss out a topic and I need you to help create me a little mini board. So I come up with kind of a different topic each week, you know, try to make it timely. And Ryan, we're coming off of a little birthday action for yourself the day before we're recording here. I got a little birthday action coming up this weekend. So I want you to go ahead, man. I want you to build me a mini board, a top 3 of the best birthday treats. You know, everybody's kind of got their birthday preference, but I want to know, like, what's the big 3 for you?
And I'm having, well, I had one. I've had 2, and I'm about to have one tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, so you got 3.
I got all 3. I got my 3. Well, I'm going to be honest, 4, because I have 4 that are favorites. One's a drink. Okay. And all 4 are happening. I had ribs, homemade ribs, slow cooked, glorious.
Birthday ribs. Ah.
Yeah. Ice cream cake.
Yes.
I'm going to pick out a bottle of bourbon.
Okay.
One that's normally out of my price range, so I'm very excited for that.
Which is $15.
No, I mean, sometimes. With as much fantasy football as I play. Yeah. But I'm going to pick that out, and then I'm going to a Brazilian steakhouse tomorrow to just kill steak.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, so if we're ranking like a birthday treat, though, is ice cream cake the number 1? Like, that's the 101 for you? Yeah. You know what?
You don't consider steak and bourbon a treat? Because I do.
No, I'm just saying, like, I appreciated your ice cream take, because I also grew up in an ice cream cake family. Like, we didn't have regular cake on our birthdays. We always had ice cream cake. So we have the same 101 at the top then, which I very much appreciate.
Yeah, and it's got to have that, like, chocolate crumbles in the middle.
Yes. Extra fudge on the outside.
It's not out.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there, because we're going to go ahead and jump into this mock draft. I'm sure we won't be on the same page. I think, Ryan, the first couple rounds, I'll read off the rounds. I'm not going to read off all 28 rounds, but for folks who are watching on YouTube, you can actually see the board. So feel free to drop us comments with some interesting picks that you're highlighting here. So I think we'll start here first, maybe 2 or 3 rounds. We'll talk about them, talk about the picks that jumped out. And then from that point, we'll just kind of bounce around, talk about some team construction, and then we'll, dig in some deeper dives, some second half of the draft. So again, just a little bit of an overview here. This is a best ball super flex seasonal league. It's 28 deep, and it's a pretty deep start. We had to start, I believe, 12 or 14. So I played with the settings, had a little bit of fun. Off the bat, Ryan, quarterback run probably doesn't surprise anybody, but 6 of the first 7 picks are quarterbacks. It went Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, then Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow. We picked from 108 and 109. This was a randomizer. You took Austin Eckler at 108, which I was jumping for joy because you left me Najee Harris at 109. And then the first round finished up with a couple more quarterbacks here. Dak Prescott at 110, 111 was Cooper Kupp, and 112 was Tom Brady. So for me, you know, obviously in this round, seeing 8 out of the 12 picks be quarterbacks, it's not necessarily a surprise, but it did set the tone for most of the draft. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping one of those first 6 quarterbacks fell to me. Like, I was really hoping for it because I didn't want to take a running back there, and because I wasn't sure who. Because, like I said, I was between Najee and Eckler, and I kind of went for the brand because of Anthony. Huge fan of Austin Eckler, my co-host. But, like, I wanted that receiving upside with him. I know they're going to be scoring a lot this year because that offense is stacked. And I still don't trust the Steelers' offensive line or quarterback situation fully. That's the only thing that really separated me. But, like, and Scar's that QB situation could help him get volume. But it was one of those, I'm just picking the better offense out of the 2 guys. That's the only separator for me.
I'll tell you what, like, honestly, I was in full tilt mode because I like to double tap quarterbacks at the beginning of a draft. And I just found myself in this no man's land. Like, taking Dak or Brady would have been fine, but that volume that was sitting there with Najee, it was just too much to pass up. So I'm usually somebody who doesn't get any running backs. But, you know, I kind of like to have fun in seasonal. It's a difference for me in seasonal versus dynasty because I will not draft running backs at the top in dynasty, and I allow myself to do it in seasonal. But if we're jumping into the second round here, CMC went off the board at 2-1. He was the 4th running back. Then it went Stafford, Jalen Hurts. I took Jamar Chase at 204, which I thought was absolute money. You took Derrick Henry at 205. Then it went Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Joe Mixon. I mean, we see our first tight end come off the board here, Ryan. That's pretty significant for me. And we pretty much have cleaned up the safe tier of quarterbacks, right? I mean, with Stafford, Hurts, Wilson, and Rodgers off the board, at that point, things really kind of drop off.
I mean, there's a lot of safe players who left. Running backs almost cleaned out too. But yeah, after this point, you're kind of in no man's land for quarterback. You kind of have to do what I did and just pray for the best. But, dude, Kelce there, it's a volume play. Like, he has a stack with Mahomes, which you want that stack.
I love a good stack. I love a good stack.
The Mahomes-Kelce stack is very, very nice. I mean, he's going to get 140 targets this year, and you're not worrying about that position, and you can kind of just hit everything else, not worry about double, triple up on tight ends, and pray for a touchdown. So I'm cool with it. I think it makes roster construction a little more difficult, but that's one of the best stacks you can have.
I got to tell you, Ryan, as we head into the 3rd round here, I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, I'm going to make you give me a favorite pick in this round because there is actually a ton of value that fell into the 3rd round here. Maybe we've got Devontae Adams at 3-1, Trey Lance at 3-2, DeAndre Swift at 303, CeeDee Lamb at 304, Kamara at 305, Tyreek at 36, Mark Andrews, tight end 2, goes off the board at 3-7. You took Deebo Samuel at 3-8. I took my guy Jalen Waddle at 3-9. Then Keenan Allen, then Javonte Williams, and finishing up round 3 was Leonard Fournette. Talk about a sneaky stack here. Ben stacked Tom Brady at 112 and Fournette at 312. And that quarterback running back stack is actually a pretty interesting one. So I'm going to highlight 312 as my favorite pick just because I think it's pretty sneaky. I don't know if I would have taken Fournette at 312, but it's a pretty interesting strategy.
No, it is. And, I mean, that offense, it's, again, good running back, high-powered offense. He's going to get red zone touches. And you're pretty much 90% guaranteed if the Bucs score a touchdown, it's going to be one of those 2. Like, you're getting points. And in the NFC, there's a lot of really bad teams, especially for the Bucs in their conference. They're going to score a ton of points. So I'm on board with that. My favorite pick in this round is somewhere in that run of Swift, Lamb, or Kamara.
Yeah, man, that's stupid good. All of those are stupid good.
Like, I don't know how you can ask me to pick through those 3, but man, that's so nice. But having Kamara who could finish as a top 5 running back with quarterbacks like Lamar and Russ. That's really good. I like that. I'd have to probably lean that one just for a little bit more extra value.
Dude, look at these balanced starts, right? For both of those picks, you have Bex, who took Herbert 1-3, Diggs 2-10, Swift 3-3. And then you have Brandon, who took Jonathan Taylor 1-4, Aaron Rodgers 2-9, CeeDee Lamb 3-4. Like two really good examples of a really balanced start, which can be really helpful in best ball. Like I've found getting those positional foundations. So I really like both of those picks. Round 4, it turns into a little bit of let's sweep up the rest of the running backs, right? So I'm just going to talk about the running backs here. James Conner went 4-1. Aaron Jones went 4-3. Nick Chubb went 4-7. Saquon Barkley went 4-8. We have our first rookie off the board with Breece Hall at 4-9. And Cam Akers went 4-11. I will just point out we both got our first quarterbacks. I got that sweet, sweet Miami Dolphins stack with Tua and Waddle, and you took Derek Carr there at 4-5. I think there's a lot of interesting running back picks here. I think I actually know which one's going to be your favorite value, but I got to say, man, at 4-8, Saquon Barkley, like that's just too far. I understand the risk. I'm a Giants fan. That's too far for Saquon Barkley.
Were you going to say that was my favorite value out of this picks?
No, I thought you were going to go a little bit to the left of the board that I'm looking at.
Dude, no. Saquon Barkley there. He's going to catch 80 balls.
Yeah, man.
This is PPR. Good. Like, I might take him where Fournette went, honestly. Maybe even where Javonte went. That volume possibility is there. Like, I think it's just like that switching from gut dynasty to redraft mindset that kind of helped him slide because people just have a bad taste in his mouth because of the injuries and whatnot. But, man, if he's healthy, which we're talking about running backs who are all hurt all the time, like asking for consistency and health is just like screaming into a void. You have just as good of a chance with him as anybody else.
Yeah.
So I love that pick. I think Hall there is pretty solid too. Like,
well, that's your first rookie off the board.
It is, and I think it's a great value for him. Like he feels like he didn't go too high.
Let's jump from that. And let's talk about the next rookies off the board because we have Kenneth Walker who goes off the board at 609. Exactly 2 rounds later, the same team is drafting him. And so that's a pretty large drop off from running back 1 to running back 2 in this class. And then I'm going to make sure I'm scanning the board in the right direction here. Treylon Burks goes 7-5. Drake London goes 7-9 to myself. I swing back around for the brand and take Chris Olave at 8-4. Garrett Wilson goes at 8-9. James Cook at 9-1. Jameson Williams went 9-4. That's a really interesting one. We could talk about best ball strategy there. And then Dameon Pierce goes 10-5. Isaiah Spiller goes 10-08. Kenny Pickett 10-07. Sky Moore 11-2. So that's kind of the top rookies off the board here. Any of those jump out in particular as good values or you feel like maybe reaches?
I mean, I love that Jameson Williams won at 9-4.
Do you like it at 9-4? Because, dude, in my projections, I got him playing 6 games.
I mean,
I think they're going to be patient.
But we're also, like, even if it's 6 games, the way this guy built his team, he already has Lamb, Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, and he hits more wide receivers, like some big play wide receivers later.
It's true.
I think he can be, if you're a playoff team, which you have the RB1, you have Aaron Rodgers who's solid. You have solid running backs. Like you have a lot there to like. You can take that home run swing for the playoff run.
All right. Like, I mean, you're right. He backs it up. He does. He backs it up with other balance. But man, it's tough.
It is. Right? If he had a team where like he didn't hit something or wasn't that great of a team, I think I'd disagree. But with what he has, I like that. I mean, he went in straight dynasty mode. He has not made the transition yet, but I'm cool with it. He did well with it.
I kind of did it too. It's hard sometimes to break that thinking. I
mean, other than 100-year-old Darren Waller.
Hey, listen, man, Darren Waller, I took him at 509. I mean, he was tight end 5 off the board. I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Well, TJ Hawkinson went 6-7. I'm going to take Darren Waller at 5-9. over TJ Hawkinson at 6'7" all day. I got to tell you, Miles took Dallas Goedert at 9.5. That's good value. I really like that one. I think Ryan has sneaky value. He took Zach Ertz at 11.10. By the way, I guess we're talking about tight ends now. Did you see that seamless transition that I made? Zach Ertz, I did see got slandered on the Dynasty Big Board show this week, which was absolutely unacceptable.
It wasn't me, was it? It might be.
No, it was all of you. No. Dawson Knox went 11.9. I think those are all, fairly solid values. I think Irv Smith at 13.7 is risky but sneaky. And Frank took him after Mark Andrews, so he has kind of a little bit of depth there to be able to do that. So I mean, it's such a crapshoot. I mean, what's your general approach when it comes to tight ends in best ball? Like, I know you took Dalton Schultz at 8.5, you took Mike Gesicki at 12.5, so you didn't really prioritize these guys. Were you just waiting for a value to come to you?
So I absolutely love Dalton Schultz. Like, I'm higher than consensus on him, probably.
Can't wait for Jake Ferguson to take his job.
You're freaking insane. Dalton Schultz might be in for 90 plus targets this year.
Woo! I've seen your projections, so
which are always pretty good. But Dalton Schultz is going to get volume. He's the third target in that offense. Like, they did not replace Cooper Kupp, and he got a ton of volume last year. So I think with the way that team's going, I think he's going to get volume. So that's why I played him there and Gesicki for touchdown upside. But I love Dalton Schultz. That's why I took him there. So I didn't. If I don't get one of the top 3 or top 4 tight ends, I'm waiting.
All right.
Like, if I'm not getting Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, or Pitts, I'm kind of winging it for a little bit. I'm going to load up on other positions.
I agree with not forcing it, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I know when looking at some of the bigger tournaments, and I know you play bigger best ball tournaments different than just seasonal leagues, but I know in Underdog last year, a lot of the big winners were just teams that hit on tight ends that they took in rounds like 8, 9, 10 in some of the larger tournaments. And I got to tell you, like, I love doing best balls and, not a sponsor yet. They could be, but I love Underdog because you get to just try out all these different draft strategies, right? At a fairly, cheap, you could do the $3 buy-in. And I know last year I tried a lot of double tapping tight ends to start. Like, what if I take Kelsey and Andrews or Kelsey and Waller and take them up for my league mates? And it didn't work great. It didn't end up being a great strategy. So I agree with this idea of not forcing it. Like, I'm going to look for one of those top tier guys, but I'm not necessarily going to force it. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see that I scrolled down board a little bit here because I do want to make sure we talk about the second half of the draft, so we did 28 rounds of best ball draft, which is pure sicko mode, which, by the way, is kind of a thing that we've embraced in the Discord. So it's a positive term, but, Foss, as we're looking into rounds 14 through 28 here, I noticed a few guys that I know you're high on as we kind of get into the mid rounds, but let's just pull out like round 17 here. So we're talking about pretty late in drafts, but we know these are important rounds, right? So Austin Hooper went 17-1, then Sam Darnold, Odell Beckham Jr. 17-3, Taysom Hill, Donovan Peoples-Jones, KJ Osborne, Nico Collins, Brian Edwards. I took KJ Hamler right before you, which I bet was a snipe. Brevin Jordan.
Right after me.
Right. No, 17-9 and then 17-10, my dude.
No, you're looking at the wrong Ryan. I took Brian Edwards the pick before.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking the wrong way. Robbie Anderson and Sony Michel. Who jumps out to you other than your own pick that round?
I mean, if you guys listened to the Dynasty Big Board last night, I was gassing up your pick with Hamler. Yeah. I really like that pick. And he has a lot of muck to kind of dig through with all that talent, but he's their only true deep threat. And if one of those other receivers goes down, it's wheels up.
Yeah, man. I like that pick. I like the Nico Collins pick.
I was going to say, I love that. If you want a full breakdown on Hamler, check out the Dynasty Big Board.
Oh, yes.
But no, I love the Nico Collins. He's probably their wide receiver too. And Donovan Peoples-Jones could be Cleveland's wide receiver too, as gross as that sounds.
Yeah, that is honestly pretty accurate.
And if somehow Watson plays and he's wide receiver too, he might be all right. I don't think he will, but there's that possibility. And we're in round 17 best ball, so why not take that dart throw?
Yeah. And so what's your general, like when you're looking deep in drafts, are you just taking whoever you like that's on the board still? Are you looking at certain positions? What are you going for, looking here at round 17, round 20, that range?
I am looking like this range because these are guys I want to have put my points for me on all reality, so probably not. I'm going for guys who either going to be home run swings or handcuffs who will have volume.
That's
so
it.
like I
That's
took
the
Boston,
one.
like Boston Scott is an injury away from getting volume. Mike Davis is Baltimore's catastrophe last year away from getting volume. And I have that backed up with Gus Edwards. So if something happens to him, I have Mike Davis. Like I just kind of went through and hit handcuffs and guys who could get volume if something goes down.
Ryan, quick question for you. What's it like taking Gus Edwards at 16.5 when I got Tyler Beatty at 22.4?
I mean, Gus is going to get 700 yards and 6 touchdowns, just like he does every single year when he's healthy.
All right. I will tell you, like, my general approach as much as possible, because I mentioned I wait on running backs early, and running backs, it's just if you stash wide receivers late, 2 wide receivers could go down in front of a wide receiver, and that next man up at the bottom of your roster could still not get volume. But if you get the running back 2 or running back 3 on a team and there's an injury ahead of him, he will get more volume, right? So I took Brian Robinson at 15.9. I took Hassan Haskins at 16.4. I took Mark Ingram at 19.9. I took Beatty at 22.4. I took Hasty at 28.4, right? Just trying to get these guys that could potentially find themselves in volume situation, because otherwise, who cares? Like, what's the difference between 3 and 5 points on your, or what's the difference between 0 and 3 points on your bench, right? Like, why stack up on those wide receivers that might get 3 targets?
No, there's not at all. But yeah, I'd say I try to get them late as well. I think we drafted about the exact same volume of running backs in those late rounds. I think it was kind of the same idea.
And I think that's a good approach. One of the other things I struggle with this, like, how many quarterbacks do you take? Is there just a line when you stop taking quarterbacks? And I see for you, there was definitely a line. You didn't take any quarterbacks in the back 14 picks. I took Tyrod Taylor. I think that there's a good chance Tyrod Taylor plays a decent amount of games this year. Maybe that's just my negative Giants fandom, but I thought in round 21, Tyrod Taylor was a decent pick. And then I took Cam Newton for fun in round 27. I'm not sold that he's gone. Some similar guys like Gardner Minshew went in round 27. Baker went in round 18.
I like Baker there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a good chance he could start somewhere.
I mean, there's rumors even coming out now that Seattle would sign him if Cleveland cuts him. But did you intentionally fade quarterback late, or is it just kind of the way the board fell?
Honestly, after I got my 3 quarterbacks, there wasn't anybody I needed to fill out. I had to get some other positions filled out. And by then I'm like, you know what? If I already have a mid-round quarterbacks, if 2 of them go down, my season's over. So I'm just trying to hit on other things. Like that. This is one difference with like Dynasty and this. I'm trying to go all in. It's championship or bust.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's what I love about seasonal. You don't have to think about it. You can just go for it.
Yep. It's all or nothing seasonal for me. Like there's no point of like I probably drafted one of the oldest teams here, and it's because I went off the value of it.
Yeah, who cares?
Yep. It's really hard switching. I'll admit that. Like I'm like, I want to take the rookie. I want to take the young guy.
I feel you. I went very young. I went for the brand myself. Foss, I won't make you go ahead and grade everybody's team out here, but do you have a general, like, looking back, being self-reflective and critical, where do you feel like you're finishing? You feel like you got a real shot at winning this league, or you feel like the patrons are going to get you?
I mean, I feel really bad that they're not going to get a free membership next year.
Because you're going to take it?
because I'm going to take it. It all depends on how Matt Ryan and Mac Jones play for me. Like, if
that's not a sentence you really want to lead with.
No, it's really not. Because, like, I feel great about my running backs. I feel pretty good about wide receiver. I feel good about tight end. Like, it's just those two quarterbacks. Can they combine to one person who produces? Because that's one part that I'm lacking on I feel like I'm lacking on my draft. Was the QBs.
Yeah.
But so it all kind of depends on that. If they hit, though, I mean, Matt Ryan has the first time he's had a good offensive line in his life. He has some okay weapons.
And Matt Ryan's Jones, good. Like, he is
Matt
good.
Ryan's good. And Mac Jones has talent, and if that offense can get clicking at the other positions, he could be good.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I really like my start of Najee, Chase, and Waddle, but I'm not somebody that usually waits on quarterbacks. So, you know, we're banking on Tua to hit. We're banking on Lawrence to hit. We're banking on Mariota as my quarterback 3. So I think I'm a little nervous, but I also went really hard on the rookies. Like I took London in round 7, Olave in round 8, Rashad White in 12, Zamir White in 13, John Mechie in 14, Brian Robinson in 15. So
you went really young.
Yeah, maybe that'll bite me in the butt. But there's value in that. Like, there's value in rookies in best ball, and I see that value. So maybe I see it a little bit too much.
Did you have any hope to get Ritter? Did he come around to you? Since you had Mariota and that could switch.
See, the thing about when I play best ball, like, one of the things I try to do is draft good players. So I had zero interest in Desmond Ritter.
That's fair. He's bad. Yeah, okay. I won't argue that. I love that. I love the Haskins pick. I wish I had Haskins. I wish I got Haskins there.
Hassan Haskins, yeah.
Or Hassan Haskins pick you had. Because I think that was, we talk about guys who could step in and get a volume role. Huh?
That's 16-4, yeah.
Yeah, because Derrick Henry goes down. He's the running back who fits that mold.
Yes, sir.
Like, that could be a league-winning pick right there.
And you have Derrick Henry, so you really could have used him.
Yeah, I weirdly only like to handcuff other people in seasonal, and not myself. But someone like Derrick Henry maybe should have in that offense. But I like to go after other people's players.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, man. That's our RB. We're calling it RB4 because it's the rookie big board best ball. It's the first one. We're running a few more. You referenced it, but it's pretty cool. So basically what we're doing is there's 2 analysts in each of them. There's me and one of the other rookie big board crew. And we take on 10 patrons. And if a patron wins the league, they get a free membership. There's no entry fee. So it's just kind of a fun seasonal best ball to do. So we'll see if we can hold them off, Ryan, or if one of the patrons is going to win a free year. I hope they win.
If you had to pick a patron to win, who's it going to be on this, from their team? Just quick look.
Oh, gosh.
You on the spot. I'm sorry. But you put me on the spot.
Yeah. I like Bex's start. I would say Bex, Andy, or Brandon, which they drafted from the 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. So maybe there's just so much value at the top. But I think those were kind of those balanced starts that I talked about earlier. So those guys, I think, really jump out to me. But best ball's wild, man. Honestly. I feel like I'm really by making a guess, I'm just giving myself a 10% chance to be right. It's so possible that all of these teams could be good.
Oh yeah. I really like Funk too.
Yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill 3-4, Nick Chubb at 4.7 is really good. Yeah. You got the Hopkins discount at 7.6 with the suspension, Tyler Boyd 11.6, the RB1 in Denver, Melvin Gordon at 12.7. The wide receiver 1 in Denver with Tim Patrick at 15.6.
Kenny Two Gloves at 10.7.
Kenny Two Gloves. Yeah, I will say he starts off really good with Kyler Murray at 1.6 and then goes Daniel Jones and Kenny Pickett. So
yeah, the QB situation is I might take that back.
Hit a little bit of a wall there. Hit a little bit of a wall, but you know what, dude? I keep the more and more I look at it, I think Andy's got the team to beat, because I realized if he hits, I mean, he's got the Mahomes Kelsey stack, and then he's got Trey Lance at 3-2. If Lance hits, it's game over, right? And then Cam Akers could easily hit. Then you've got T. Higgins, who has a great floor, and then Cooper's a steal at 6'11". I don't know, man. I think he's just got a really good roster here.
He's got Juju in that stack too.
He's got Sky Moore also. I just realized he's got the whole dang team.
He went all in on the Chiefs.
Wait, hold on. Did he take Ronald Jones late? That would be hilarious. No, he didn't. He did take Isaiah Pacheco though. He couldn't help himself. All right, man. That's the best ball. As always, make sure you're checking it out. If you want to get in on the Rookie Big Board action, it's patreon.com/theFFeducator. 2023 Rookie Big Board. Foss's Dynasty consensus rankings are up there. Devy rankings, active participation in the Discord. You get to jump in free leagues like this. We're setting up RB402 right now, actually. So all that good stuff. Check it out. It's like $3 a month. Patreon.com/theFFeducator. Foss, my man, thanks for joining me on this episode of the bonus Big Board.